well. Greg Popovich did all of his X's and O's, then looked at his team and said, we worked all year for this. Know the defense. Shaq's back in. Make your adjustment. By the way, you're all doing a really good job, Al.
Pat him on the head on the way out of the huddle, huh? Turkoglu. And Malone with a rebound now.
You know, it's funny. You're looking at this game now, and though the Lakers are ahead, you almost feel like it's the Spurs' advantage right now. They're playing with more energy.
No question. Knocking a 16-point lead down to 8, so they've halved it, and the Lakers keep throwing the ball away, and now will San Antonio score off another Laker turnover. Turkoglu for 3.
Every turnover leads to a bucket for the Spurs.
George.
See, that's not that easy anymore. When you have a 16-point lead, shots are easy. He's going to get those same shots.
Parker, he'll try a 3 here. And San Antonio built its lead in the first half the other night with 3s, and they built their comeback with a couple of 3s here. 2-point game.
Kobe Bryant has not been involved in the offense the last 7 minutes of this game. He has to get back involved, and so does Shaq.
Offensive.
It's amazing how quickly a game can change. And I'll tell you when it changed, when Tony Parker made that shot off an offensive rebound. The whole game changed because Tony Parker changed.
And now Fisher comes out of the game, and Gary Payton comes back in. So the Lakers have their original starting lineup in right now. The 4 studs and Devin George. Parker for 3 is short. Malone, can he hold the ball inbounds? He can't, giving Turkoglu another chance, and he can't. And O'Neal goes up for the rebound and comes down hard and gets fouled. Foul on Duncan.
Yeah, the Spurs look like they're in a rush now. You know, they don't have to take the lead with a shot. They're back in this game. Those last 2 shots were so quick, it almost made it look like they thought they had to catch up.
Yeah.
They need to look at the scoreboard now and say, wow, we're only down 2. It's a game.
They took those 2 threes, would have led by 1. Place already erupting. Shaq has come all the way out in this set. Now he works his way inside. Play clock in single figures. Bryant got it. Kobe Bryant, and you're right, Doc. I think if the Lakers are to do it, number 8 will play the key role.
Well, he knows that. You know, the 4th quarters are his. They know when it gets real late, it's tough to go to Shaq because you can foul him.
And a foul before Devin Brown gets the shot away. Foul's on Payton.
The one thing, again, I like, and Pop kept saying this with his team, guys, don't settle, keep attacking the basket, and good things will happen.
Duncan with only 2 points, and who would have figured a comeback of this magnitude, and the big man with just a deuce.
Tough shot.
And an air ball, but they're underneath for the rebound and score it. Brown. But he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds.
Devin Brown is the single most important player on this floor for the Spurs. He got them back in this game, and his effort is keeping them in this game.
4-point lead halfway through the 4th quarter in the pivotal 5th game. Winner of the series needs just 1 more to advance to the Western Finals. Loser would have to win the last 2. Bryant putting it up. And Malone volleyballs it all the way back down the floor, and then Payton, as he tries to save it, did he call the timeout? No.
He tried. They're not going to give it to him. He was falling out of bounds, and you're not allowed to call a timeout in the NBA when you're falling out of bounds.
Which he was. So the ball was swatted too far, 94 feet in effect. or just about, and Gary Payton can't save it. 4-point game. 6 out of 20. 5.5 to go. Duncan feeding Parker. Perkele will drive. And O'Neal fumbles the rebound, but George is right there to come up with it.
Gary Payton did an excellent job on that pick and roll, staying in front of Tony Parker. That allowed the other Lakers to get back to their men.
Bryant feeding Malone underneath, and he gets hammered by Ori.
And very close to a flagrant foul. Wouldn't be surprised if they didn't call it. I mean, when you look at this here, this is pretty hard foul. You know, the rule is not a play on a ball. The rule is excessive force.
On the street, that's 30 days in the focus.
Yes. You can even call a foul on that one at the park.
May the 1st. Friday, that's tomorrow night. TNT, New Jersey with Detroit. Game 5 in that series. Squared at 2 each. Sacramento, Minnesota from Minneapolis follows that series, as are all the series.
You know, Al,
2 apiece.
You look at this score. It's 68-63. It's a low-scoring game, but an excellent game. And it tells you how much pressure is in this Game 5, where guys are missing shots that they usually miss. But this is a Spurs type of game. So if you're Greg Popovich, you're down, you struggled all game, but your defense is what's been your staple all year.
Lower the score, better their chances. They led the league along with Detroit in scoring defense and a foul underneath. Duncan got surrounded. It might be on Shaq. It is 4.
The bad news now is Duncan has to go to the free throw line where he struggled, but been pretty good tonight. I like that Tim Duncan here is aggressive. That's what he has to do.
He's 5 out of 8 from the line. The Spurs are 7 of 15 collectively from the line. The Lakers are 6 of 13. Neither team hitting 50%. This could be the first playoff game in the history of the NBA in which both teams shoot under 50%. And it would figure since they were last and next to last in the regular season.
See, Duncan is making free throws tonight like Shaq made them the other night. But I want to make this point again. This is a Spur type of game, low scoring, defensive minded. They're used to playing this way.
Shaq was 8 of 11 from the line the other night. And Duncan gets a bounce there and is 7 of 10. 3 points again. Shaquille. No bounce.
And that's the shot he wanted. He felt good about that shot when he left his hands.
Duncan off the glass. And the crowd raising a collective glass right now. Their team within 1.
The best way to get a shooter going is by getting to the free throw line. Tim Duncan makes those free throws.
Bryant in and out. Duncan drawing Shaq outside. Parker gets around Shaq. Bryant got a hand on it. Play clock, or the shot clock was down to 0. No basket. No basket. 24-second violation.
Boy, that's the 3rd basket that has been taken away from the Spurs with good cause. But you feel bad if you're a Spurs fan.
Lakers take a timeout. Tim Duncan's last shot. And that's why a 16-point game has become a 1-point game.
And again, we said it with the 16-point lead, that the Spurs were not out of this game. Now this game has really turned into Spur type of tempo.
Tough San Antonio defenses. Bryant is matched up now on Brown. Clock is at 5. Kobe's going to put it up.
See, not a good possession, again, from the Lakers. The Spurs right now are taking the Lakers out of their offense, and there's no movement anymore.
That was all Kobe over the last 12 seconds, and the shot wasn't that good in terms of selection. Duncan off the glass. Unintentional off the glass.
But good things happen when you're patient, and Duncan has been pretty patient.
7-6 was the last time San Antonio had the lead. Early first quarter.
See, now Karl Malone is passing shots up. And they're forcing Kobe Bryant to force the action.
And Payton will try to stop it. He can't. Tony Parker. Jackson has to take a timeout. The Spurs on a tremendous run. 8-0 is the last of these runs, but they have turned a 16-point deficit into a 3-point lead.
And really, it's all on the defensive end. In the second half, the Spurs are basically scored off of turnovers.
Duncan, who had not been doing a whole lot in the fourth quarter, have all of a sudden done a whole lot. Sometimes you get very lucky.
Yeah, you do. You can see Tim Duncan right on the miss or on the make. He thought it was a miss, try to follow it. And then Tony Parker, look at his emotion and reaction, pounding the floor, which is a defensive sign.
Decidedly different Spurs bench in the last time out, where Tony Parker and Tim Duncan were pensive earlier. They're patting each other on the head. Where the reserves had been somber, they are elated. Where assistant coaches were shaking their heads, they're now smiling. And where Popovich had been irate, he's now simply intense, guys.
And Shaq has just made it a 1-point game inside. 71-70 San Antonio.
Boy, Michelle makes a great point. I mean, you looked over at that huddle and that bench in the third quarter. They were ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
And the Lakers, but credit to Spurs defense, got them back in this game, and then Devin Brown is the hero.
Shaquille goes up for the rebound, and it's out of bounds off Shaquille. Horry came over the top, but it's off Shaquille.
Robert Horry, you know, it's funny. Sometimes players can make significant contributions without scoring, and Robert Horry has done that in this game.
Yeah, despite the fact his numbers aren't that good, when you look at when he's been on the floor as opposed to when he hasn't, the Spurs have played a lot better.
He's made great hustle plays.
Parker, it's a two-pointer. And Ginobili's there and whips it outside and gets it back to Parker.
Hustle, hustle, hustle right now.
Now Horry all alone for 3, not even close. And Shaquille comes down with it. 1:15 to play. It's a 1-point San Antonio lead. O'Neal. Bryant gets free for a moment. Now pressure. Play clock. 4 seconds. Long 3. No.
I just don't like the way Kobe's involved in the offense right now, Al.
Parker looking back at Popovich. Seven on the clock. Two-pointer for Parker. Ooh, it rims out. Malone gets the rebound. Derek Fisher looked over at the bench, about a 6-second differential.
Phil Jackson will not call a timeout. He hates to allow the defense to set up. This is going to be pick and roll with Kobe and Karl Malone.
Malone coming out. He sets it. Kobe gets around it. Kobe puts it up. Made it. Lakers by 1 with 11 and a half to go.
Kobe Bryant is tired.
Oh,
That
he's
was an
exhausted.
unbelievable shot. But he walked off the floor like he wanted to pass out. And now the only thing I can think of right now is Robert Horry is on the other team.
He's on the other team.
He's on the Spurs right now, and you know he would love to get a shot. You watch this pick and roll. You can't give him an inch. He had a great look at that one. But look at him walk off the floor. And this is Phil Jackson's reaction. Huh, I've seen a guy in Chicago do that.
Yep, I've been there before. The guy has won 9 titles. A 10th would break a tie with Red Auerbach. In fact, if Phil Jackson wins a title, he will become the winningest championship coach or manager in any of the 4 major North American team sports, as Bryant is just beat.
He is. I mean,
totally.
He looks exhausted right now.
And this is a guy who got a lot more sleep in the last 2 days than he did Monday and Tuesday of last week. But it's all catching up with him. He did make that last shot. We have 11.5 to go, and then all of a sudden, time to get back up. Kobe has played 47 minutes.
That's the reason. He's tired. 11 seconds left in this game. Where are they going to go out? They're going to Tony Parker and Tim Duncan in the pick and roll, most likely, or straight to Duncan. Now, the other thing that Popovich has done with Tony Parker is just spread the floor for him. I can't imagine not having your 2 best players involved on this last play. So if I'm Phil Jackson, I'm thinking pick and roll, Tony Parker and Tim Duncan.
The other thing, the Lakers have a foul to give here. None in the last 2 minutes, none over the limit, so the Lakers can commit a foul without the Spurs going to the free throw line.
And that's big. That's big at this point in the game. It'll be interesting how much time the Lakers let go off the clock before they use it.
Brown to inbound. They get it to Duncan. He's outside. Clock under 6. And that's where the Lakers commit the foul. It's Derek Fisher.
Yeah, good job. I mean, they burned 6 seconds off the clock. So now it's a 5-second play that the Spurs are going to have to draw up. One thing I will say, and certain coaches have certain things that they do extremely well. Greg Popovich is one of the better side-out-of-bound coaches in this league, and they're going to draw up a heck of a play here.
He better draw up the A+ play here. This is where you draw it up, because this doesn't win the series or lose the series, but how it can't get any bigger at this particular point. You know, I'm thinking about this entire Lakers season, no matter what happens, from day one. From Kobe in Colorado to Malone and Payton, it hasn't stopped. This team has been in the spotlight like no team I can think of in professional sports over a nearly calendar year.
Yeah, it's been drama, but you know, you look at the Spurs all year, defending champions. No one has talked about them, and they just keep coming. And it's been like that this game. No one talked about the Lakers or the Spurs today because the Lakers were dominating the game. The Spurs just kept coming. You know, stone cutting is what Michelle talked about during the first quarter. That's exactly what the Spurs have done.
Just the way the Spurs love it. They float under the radar. They ended the season by winning 11 straight. Then they won 6 playoff games in a row. Now they've lost 2 playoff games. But this is a team, champions in '99, champions last year, maybe again this year. Who knows?
Another guy is going to have to make a shot for the Spurs. What I mean by that is I would be very surprised if Phil Jackson will allow Tony Parker or Tim Duncan to get that shot off. Someone's going to leave someone. The Lakers, what Kobe has given the Spurs, you couldn't have defended that any better. The Lakers had taken the Spurs out of the play, and Tim Duncan turned the grate. I mean, look at this. They take away the handoff. Duncan has nowhere to go. A fadeaway jump shot off the wrong leg out. Wow.
21 for Duncan, 8 in the period, just inside the arc, under pressure, under physical pressure, and under intense pressure in terms of these playoffs. It almost reminds you of Kobe Bryant's shot in Portland. It's a little different, of course. the one that gave them the Pacific Division Championship in double overtime.
Yeah, this
great defense.
This one's big, boy. I tell you. I mean, Greg Popovich had to be thinking right now, my goodness, we've lost to the Lakers, and now we have to go up to LA down 3-2. Now they're up 3-2. Wow.
4/10 left.
Now they are allowed. See, that tenth is huge, because with 3/10, not enough time to get a shot off. With 4/10 of a second, you are allowed to catch and shoot.
The Spurs have a foul to give.
They better foul Kobe Bryant, because that's where the ball's going. The only other option is a lob up in the air to Shaquille O'Neal. The key is don't foul him in the act of shooting.
So the Lakers now inbounding. Gary Payton will throw it in. They're in a line. Kobe's the third guy in the line. They're trying to break him free.
Robert Horry just told the official, we have a foul to give.
And the officials.
Timeout Spurs. Good timeout, too.
Over the
they
Spurs
caught it
bench.
late enough that it allowed the Spurs to kind of see what the Lakers want to do. I can tell you what they're going to do, Hal. They're going to Kobe Bryant.
There's no question the way they lined up, the Lakers with 4 guys and Kobe trying to hide in the number 3 spot, ready to break them outside.
This game had Spurs written all over it. You know, with 5 minutes left, Al, it was a 5-point game. The Spurs were down, but you sensed it. You know, I said that it was played the way the Spurs wanted the game to turn out. It's all about their defense. They've made great stops, and then Tim Duncan making that great shot.
Only 10 in the period for the Lakers. Again, it was a 16-point San Antonio lead with 3 and change remaining in the third quarter. Payton again inbound. Lakers with a different look this time. And Gary Payton will take a timeout. So they've come out in 2 different sets. That's the last timeout.
Now, I like what Greg Popovich did. Watch Robert Horry. He knows that he doesn't have to guard the guy out of bounds because they don't have enough time to get it back to him. So what they're doing is like in football, Al, they're spying Kobe Bryant. Robert Horry is just chasing wherever Kobe Bryant is going. They're going to deny him the catch. Listen, they've seen those Portland highlights. They're not going to allow Kobe Bryant to catch the ball. Great move by Greg Popovich.
Let's make some noise.
4/10 remaining in the 5th game. Here they go. They get it to Fisher. He scores! Derek Fisher scores at the buzzer. It'll have to be reviewed. They'll review it. They'll review it. The Lakers are going to run to the dressing room, and they'll try to get on the plane before the officials can get over to the scorer's table.
Boy,
oh
it was
my
close.
God.
We got to take a look at it, but I got to tell you, live, it looked good.
I thought it did too.
My goodness.
Well, I had a feeling. I was just going to ask you, you know, everybody in the world knows they're going after Bryant. They're going to try to foul Bryant. So do you go to somebody else? Do you take a chance?
Well, they went for
Derek
Bryant.
Fisher, here we go. Take a look at this.
They went for Bryant. You can see him looking.
Clock.
Derek Fisher breaks open.
Starts.
It's good.
Yeah, I think it is good. With about 1/10 of a second. Yeah, I don't know how you
tell you, it's
call
close, though. It's so close.
It's very close.
Watch the light.
Ball has to be out of his hands.
Ball's out.
Yeah, it's out of his hands. It's out of his hands.
Wow, it's good.
Just an unbelievable game.
You think about the breaks. Think about the breaks, Al. The 4/10 of a second made the difference. The 4/10 of a second.
You're right.
Wow.
You talked about it. 4/10 and 3/10. It was called good on the court, so they'd have to see something to overrule it, much as football. Ball's out. There it is. out of his hand. That's all you need. Can you imagine the days, what was it? It was about 12 years ago. The Lakers have won. The Lakers are going to run off the court. In the days before you went to tenths of seconds, remember you had that massive craziness in New York in a playoff game a few years ago.
Al, I've been around this league for 20 years. I've never seen an ending like this before.
That's off the charts.
2 unbelievable shots. I've never seen anything like it ever. 2
lead-changing shots in the last 0.4 of a second. You know, at the risk of being a shill, now I know why they say we love this game.
We love this game.
It's just unbelievable. Here's Michelle.
All right, I'm with Shaquille O'Neal because everybody else ran into the locker room. Can you describe those last 0.4, of a second, whatever you're going to call that fraction?
One lucky shot deserves another. Tim Duncan hit a great shot. He was falling down. He just threw it up. I thought I was playing good day. I was right there. I didn't want to foul. I was right there in his face, and we hit the shot. And then Derek got the ball, threw up a lucky shot, and hit the shot. We won the game.
Talk about the design of that play, because I think everyone was looking to guard Kobe, and then Fisher comes up with it.
Actually, the play was for Kobe to set a lob for me, and then Kobe to come off, but everybody was looking for me and Kobe. Derek Fisher just ran to the ball, got it, and threw it up.
This was an enormous win. You guys led by 16. They came back and took the lead, and it looked like they were going to go back to LA up 3-2. Can you talk about what a difference a moment makes?
I think we had too many turnovers again in the fourth quarter. They got too many offensive rebounds. They came down and hit some shots. And like I said, the last 2 shots, one lucky shot deserves another.
Yeah, and Shaq, just real quick, you had some foul trouble early. How frustrated were you in your inability to contribute in the first half because of those fouls?
I mean, I was just coming out playing aggressive, and, they were just, calling the fouls on me tonight.
All right, Shaq wants to get back in that locker room to celebrate with his teammates, guys. We'll let him go. Back to you.
Unbelievable. Leave it to Shaq to sum it up. One lucky shot deserves another. Think about Derek Fisher. Here's a guy who's a starter, wins 3 rings. They bring in Peyton. He loses his job. He comes off the bench. Derek this year did not shoot very well. Started shooting a little bit better during the playoffs. Has begun to see more action of late, and he is the guy who will go into Laker lore with this shot.
But Al, I'm going to say this. This morning, you asked Greg Popovich if there's an X factor in the game for the Lakers, who is it going to be? And what did he say?
He said Derek Fisher
will be the X factor.
And right now, Derek Fisher is Greg Popovich's X-rated factor.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in San Antonio land is happy about that. But what a great ending. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, especially when you put the magnitude of the game.
And this series, and I mean, this is the marquee series. The series, there have been some great matchups, but you have the champions of the last 5 NBA seasons, and Derek Fisher is right now in with Michelle. Let's go to Michelle.
Yeah, with Derek Fisher, we got to get him while we can because this man is in high demand.
Wow.
Talk about the design on that last play.
Well, most times the play's not for me. Even though I can make shots, most of the time we're going to Kobe and Shaq automatically. But they covered those 2 guys. I came open. Garrett gave me a great pass and turned the shot.
Tell me how the moment felt, because as our guys just explained, you lost your starting job. Malone is here, giving you quite the pat on the back, but you had lost your starting job.
Yeah, I mean, this is special. I mean, we almost gave this game away. And I think tonight's game is so indicative of how our whole season has gone. We look great at times, we've looked poor at times, but we've hung in. Everybody's had adversity individually, collectively, and this is just a great win for our team and our organization. You know,
It's hard to describe the way that this bench erupted, the way that every player erupted, especially after watching those replays. Can you talk about what that locker room is like right now?
Well, that's the only way we can win on the road. We need everybody to contribute. Shaq was big, even though he was in foul trouble. Kobe played solid. Everybody just gave what they could give. Devin George deserves a lot of credit tonight. We just kept fighting, Michelle.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
Whew. Doc, I don't know. He's the Zen master. Phil is 58 years old, end of the contract, all that. New age spiritualist, whatever the hell that means. I don't know. Whatever he's into, we need to get into this thing.
See, Al, this is why you have to stay in this game.
That's exactly. Oh,
wow.
Man.
I've not seen anything like it. And, you know, both teams just kept pushing. I did think the fourth quarter turned the Spur type of basketball, slowed it down. It was a defensive struggle. And then Tim Duncan makes that shot, and it's amazing. You look at the expression on the faces when Duncan makes the shot. Watch Shaq here. I mean, he's shaking his head. He's in disbelief. At that moment, you have to think they're thinking, look at Kobe. It's over for them, at least this game. You know, they're thinking we go back to L.A., we can win Game 6 and bring it back for Game 7. they now have a chance to close it out in L.A.
I'm glad Jackson had that angioplasty.
Yeah.
You'll probably listen to an Enya
Oh,
CD on the way home to L.A. tonight. It's astonishing. And to think, I mean, the Lakers, as I said the other day, they went from the obituary page back into the sports section. Now they're a game away from going to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and they're doing something against a team if they did win Game 6. 4 games in a row against the San Antonio Spurs. I got to say, me for one, never thought that they could do that.
And credit to the Spurs to what a comeback that was, down by 16 and coming up just short. Fabulous game. Now, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for your late local news. Nightline and Jimmy Kimmel over most of these ABC stations. Sunday, Game 6 will be in Sacramento when the Timberwolves visit to take on the Sacramento Kings. Now for Doc Rivers and Michelle Tafoya, this is Al Michaels saying so long from San Antonio after one of the most dramatic playoff games in the history of the NBA. This is ABC Sports, home of the NBA Finals.